And we'll start with the Sooners, a team that's undersized. From what you were telling me before we get going on this program, you might be a little more keen on the Sooners than I am.
It's not that I'm really key on them. I still have them in the middle tier like you do, but they had a really bad recruiting class. So they're not bringing in a lot of players. And last year they had their big three. Their big three all averaged almost 15 points per game. They're returning two of them with Brady Manick and Reeves. So those two guys are gonna have to step up because they're already gonna have to replace a production that they're gonna lose, but they are also going to need their other players to step up because Brady Manick, he's not really a shot creator. He's a tall player, makes his shots 110%, but he doesn't really create his shots. So Oklahoma, another one of those teams that can really bridge the gap from those middle tiers to the top tiers that will make the Big 12 a good conference potentially.
And this is a team that's just undersized. And with as many guards as they have, they might be able to compete with an undersized lineup. However, I just question that ability when you only have a couple of guys that can do well in the front court, and even they have some question marks too. And when you go mainly guards, that margin for error is so small, especially in the Big 12. This is a team that can crack the top half of the conference. This is a team that can completely destroy itself and finish 8th, 9th, maybe dead last, but I don't think they'll get quite to that bottom. This is a team that has a lot of question marks around them. And I do worry that their undersized lineups are going to get completely demolished by teams in Tier 1, teams that are just above them, we'll get to in a moment. I'm scared for this team that they are going to get destroyed down low, and in turn, they're going to lose a lot of games that perhaps they shouldn't be losing. And you can't be losing games that you shouldn't be, especially this year where you have less games to prove yourselves to the committee. And that is going to be something I'll be very interested in seeing, is just how good this front court can be. Where do you think this front court is, Don?
The front court, it definitely lacks. Like I said, Brady Manick, he's one of their forwards, but he typically finds himself on the outside. So they're going to struggle, for sure. They're going to struggle against some teams. Now, fortunately for them, they've really kind of played small ball for as long as we can remember. So they're going to be used to that. But like you said, they're definitely a small team. You're absolutely correct on that. Another team, 4-8 on the road last year. They got to find ways to win games on the road this year because – believe it or not, they finished in third place in the conference last year. They went 9-9 in conference. That's how much parity is in this conference. Who's going to step up for Oklahoma to return them? Because just a couple of years ago, they were in the Final Four. Of course, they had one of the greatest shooters college basketball's ever seen in Buddy Hield. But Oklahoma, I think they can make some noise in the Big 12 this year. Maybe not as much noise as some of the other teams we're about to mention, but certainly capable.
And even in the back half of the season when you had Buddy Hield, defenses figured him out quick in the Big 12. And that's going to be something that I do show some little concern for Oklahoma, is you're going to have to be able to adapt to the Big 12 and teams figure you out. And I don't know if there's a way that Oklahoma can do that.